The forests of the Global South, including the three basins, support the lives and livelihoods of indigenous people sustainably by providing timber and timber products, food and medicines, as well as ecosystem services such as air purification, carbon removal, pollination, ecotourism, and culture, as well as ritual assets. Without meaningful investment in incentives to support the maintenance of this sustainable coexistence, communities embark on a zero-sum struggle for survival and economic subsistence, which can lead to irreparable harm to biodiversity through deforestation, destruction of habitats and ecosystems, and illegal wildlife trade. At the level of human survival, critical ecological considerations are relegated to wishful luxuries, and our planet and all life on it become net losers. We who are gathered here today understand very well that to the extent that human survival is personal, climate action measures, as well as the protection of biodiversity, ecosystems, and forests, is equally personal to our indigenous communities. What we do with these truths, therefore, matters a great deal. A good starting point is to appreciate that a more responsive international financial architecture would do a lot in financing necessary incentives to mobilize different stakeholders, including indigenous communities, to align their economic strategies with climate action and the protection of biodiversity. The African Union's Committee of African Heads of State on Climate Change recognizes this position. This is why we find much alignment between the agenda of the summit and the Africa Climate Summit, which I was privileged to host early last month in Nairobi. We know the direction we must take going forward and the choices that must be made have never been clearer. We have a momentous opportunity to galvanize effective South-to-South collaboration on a critical global agenda, given that the fundamental objectives of this summit broadly align with the outcome of the African leaders' Nairobi Declaration on Climate and call to action. It is possible for us to develop a clear, strong, united position to project our collective agenda at COP28. Articles of the Declaration recognize that Africa's vast forests, especially the Congo Basin rainforest, are the largest carbon sinks globally and a critical ecosystem for that. Nevertheless, Africa's natural capital has not been properly valued. Consequently, the Africa Climate Summit Declaration calls for re-evaluation and revaluation of the gross domestic product of Africa by incorporating a proper computation of its abundant natural capital and ecosystem services from its vast forests that sequester carbon so as to unlock new sources of wealth for our continent. The declaration further emphasizes that the valuation framework should entail the use of natural resource accounting in the development of national accounting standards. African leaders, therefore, committed to strengthen actions to halt and reverse biodiversity loss, prevent deforestation, combat desertification, and restore degraded landscapes. This is expected to achieve land degradation neutrality, implement a global biodiversity framework, and enhance the integrity and efficacy of carbon markets. More encouragingly, there are signs that a new global coalition to transform multilateral climate action is not only feasible, it is actually an eminently practical proposition at this point.